Okay, and
Well, at least,
they got the
at least
safety
Pittsburgh scored more than them.
and they got the safety by accident.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, that was odd for the 1 o'clock games. I think there were 2 or 3 safeties
Yeah.
in the 1 o'clock game. I watched Wet Zone yesterday, and it was like safety after another. I mean,
Who
I
would have
think it.
thought? Who would have thought Kansas City be tied with Denver for first place in the AFC West?
Well, I mean, it's a whole new team. Not completely new team, but Andy Reid's there. I mean, maybe they may be the more competitive. I can't see San Diego being competitive to Denver. I mean, people just don't believe in Phillip Rivers anymore. But I mean, don't sleep on the Chiefs. They could be a dark horse team this year.
Yeah, we'll
Uh,
see. We'll see. I used to live out there. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Hey, I want to move over to a game that I could have thought would have went the other way. Cincinnati and Chicago. I love me some Andy Dalton, man. That guy,
Dalton and Green.
I'm a big Andy Dalton fan. He went 26 of 33 for 282 yards. Okay? Cutler was 21 of 33 also for 242 yards.
And a new head coach for the Bears and Treshman, Jay Cutler. He's entering the last year of his contract, so he's got something to prove.
He's got something to prove, all right. He threw 2 touchdowns and 1 interception, and Dalton threw 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
Yeah, those interceptions definitely were costly for Dalton, but just seeing him and AJ Green, how they have developed. I mean, and these are not. Well, Dalton was a second-round draft pick. Green was a first-round draft pick. So Cincinnati, they have a good thing going, and people may say because of Baltimore and losing all that talent and Steelers on the decline, people assumes that Bengals may easily win. But I'm not going to give Cincinnati that division just yet, especially coming up short against Chicago.
Well, AJ Green had 9 receptions for 162 yards, man, and 2 touchdowns. You know, he's the speedster on the team. He's the guy that everybody. He's the guy that Dalton's going to really carry it. You know, him and Jarvis. I'm sorry, Green Ellis, as their runner.
Yep.
It's gonna. They're gonna be. And it's not like they're really out of anywhere in that division because all 4 teams lost. So you're still sitting okay in that division.
I will say this. Marvin Lewis, he's been a coach of that team.
Is he still coaching that team?
Yes, he is. He's still, from my understanding, he's still the coaching of that team. Now, they've been to the playoffs the last 2 years. First, you lost to the Texans with the third-string quarterback 2 years ago. And then you lost to the same team with their current quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
If the Bengals don't start moving, if they miss the playoffs, or better if they end up in the same place that they were, then Marvin Lewis has got to go. He's been with that team for so long. I think he's the longest running head coach right now, other than Belichick. I think he's been the coach for the Bengals longer than Belichick been for the Patriots. If they don't get it done, if they don't go far in the playoffs, I should say, that's the expectations. Go far in the playoffs since you've been in the playoffs the last 2 years. If you miss the if y'all don't go far in the playoffs, Lewis got to go. I don't care what Dalton or Green does.
I agree. I didn't think he was still gone. I thought they had a new head coach. So I'm shocked that he's still there because if they don't make the playoffs this year and win at least a couple of games, he's got to go, Marvin Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to go. Hey, I want to move over to the Green Bay 49er game. Did you get a chance to watch that game?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that game was on my TV, too. That was a really good game, wasn't it?
It was a rematch of a division round last year. Colin Kaepernick just making a name for himself, and he beat the Packers with his legs on that playoff last year. But yesterday, Packers thought he was just going to be more of a runner than a passer. But he throws 412 passing yards against that Packers defense. Kaepernick, don't sleep on this dude. I mean, it's only his, I think, 12, 13 start, but he's shown that he can beat you with his arm than just his legs. He didn't really need to run that much. And then there was that incident between he and Clay Matthews. Remember, Clay Matthews was running his mouth prior to the game saying he's wanting quarterbacks. I'm going after them.
Well,
And he did. And they got penalized over it. And I guess people are saying that play should not have been reset. It should have been fourth down San Francisco, I guess. So maybe the Packers may have got the wrong end of a bad referee call again. But they couldn't stop Kaepernick. They couldn't even stop Anquan Bolden, which I'm really starting to think, Jeff, that the Baltimore Ravens are going to regret trading Anquan Bolden.
I don't know why they let him go. Are you kidding me?
Well, I mean, Flacco had his big contract, and I guess they just couldn't work things out with Bolden. And
he had 13. Bolden had 13 receptions for 208 yards.
You got no Michael Crabtree. You got no Mario Manningham. So obviously he was going to be the main
Vernon
option.
Davis had 6 receptions for 9. You know?
It was a tough day for that
yards,
defense.
I'm sorry. He had 6 receptions for 98 yards, Vernon Davis. But the main guy there is going to be Bolden until Crabtree comes back. Once Crabtree gets back, you kidding me? Crabtree on one side and Bolden on the other side with Vernon Davis there? Are you kidding me? And then Frank Gore? Holy freaking Toledo, Batman. Watch out.
They definitely are a complete team. I guess the only people that should be upset for the 49ers is the defense. They did allow 28 points. But then again, it is Aaron Rodgers and that offense. So they kept the game close. It's just that the Packers they couldn't stop Kaepernick. They could not stop Bolden. They could not stop Davis. They just had their way with them. And I mean, Colin Kaepernick, he's definitely a superstar in the making. So maybe 49er fans should feel relieved that they made the right move sticking with him instead of Alex Smith. The 49ers, I believe they're a Super Bowl contending team again. They're gonna be in the hunt. I did pick them to be the NFC champion. I got them repping the NFC. So, but Green Bay, their problem is their defense. They got some big names in defense, but they have made a lot of stops. And you lost Charles Woodson. Don't forget about Woodson.
Yeah, I know.
He's now with Oakland now. And, I mean, who you got that was going to stop? Maybe Woodson could have made a difference, at least with Bolden. But Kaepernick had the game of his life yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
He did.
You know who had a game of his life yesterday, too?
Who?
Tony Romo.
Oh, the Sunday night game. Cowboys, G-Men.
Eli Manning basically handed that game to them on a silver platter.
Well, half of the turnovers was due to Eli. He had 3 interceptions. He did have 450 yards.
Yeah,
and 4 touchdowns.
And 4 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. And what I find really disturbing, if you're a Cowboy fan and the Giants turned it over to you 6 times and you only won the game by 5, you got a problem.
Well, in all fairness, Tony Romo took some hard hits from that defense.
He's got some hurting ribs today, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and it was an MRI checked on Romo, and no further damage. So he'll be fine. He'll be good to go when they take on the Chiefs. So, yeah, it is a concern for Cowboys defense. He did allow 450 passing yards.
And you know something? Even in the loss, Eli Manning comes out with a better quarterback rating than Romo. Eli Manning's quarterback rating is 102.3. Tony Romo's is 90.8.
Well, the 4 touchdowns will definitely play a role in that.
And you want to know
But
something? The last time they lost to the last 2 times they lost to the Cowboys on opening day, they've won the Super Bowl. Hello, 1976 and the year 2000. Hello.
all I know is your Giants got issues with the running back position.
Yeah,
They
I knew it when it was coming down the pike when they got rid of a couple of guys and they named Wilson their starter. I says, oh man, do we got a problem?
David Wilson, he's not the first Giant running back to have issues hanging
Tiki
on to the
Barber.
ball. Tiki Barber, Jacobs, Bradshaw. I mean, and the secondary. That's probably my main concern if I'm a Giants fan. The secondary and the running back. From my understanding, they did take a look at some couple of running backs. Who knows if David Wilson's going to get another opportunity or
He
not?
didn't play the rest of the game after that freaking second fumble, did he?
Yeah, I think Coughlin just said enough. But the other guy that replaced Wilson, and it was on the Giants' last possession, bit of miscommunication. Eli trying to throw the ball at his direction. He wasn't paying attention. And Brandon Carr from the Cowboys with the interception. I'm thinking to myself,
and the Giants still came down and scored on it, right?
Yeah, they did have a score late, and they're trying to get the onside kick, but Cowboys did.
And they almost got it too, didn't they?
Yeah, I'm thinking Cowboys are going to let another game slip away. Right. Eli's going to pull through, and he has 24 game-winning drives in his career. When it comes to the fourth quarter and overtime, I'm thinking to myself, it's Eli, and after seeing what his brother did, he didn't want to be outstaged by him. He just want to make a statement. The game is close. I'm watching the game last night. I'm thinking Eli's going to find a way. You can't spell elite without Eli, but it just wasn't. When you turn the ball over 6 times,
right,
you're not going to win.
Okay, they turned the ball over 6 times.
Yeah.
They had 21 first. You got to remember this. They turned the ball over 6 times, but they still got 21 first downs compared to Dallas's 22 first downs. Okay? They had more total yards than the Cowboys, right?
Yeah.
They had their third down efficiency was 6 of 11. The Cowboys was 5 of 15. Okay.
And on another note, when it comes to the Cowboys, Des Bryant gets hurt, Romo gets hurt, so they're going to be heading into that next game less than 100%. Well, at least the offensive side. The good thing you can look at from the Cowboys is the takeaways, but 450 yards.
Cowboys had 15 more plays than the Giants did, and that's big right there.
All I know is
more plays than the Giants did.
All I know is you can't afford Romo to throw the ball 49 times and think you're gonna win.
Not only
you got DeMarco Murray, he did have 86 yards, but gotta be a little bit more balanced than that.
I mean, it was you know what? It was really insane to watch. It was really hard to watch. And I said, screw it. And I went away from it for a while, and then Giants started playing a little bit better. And I came back, and all of a sudden, interception. Screw this. So I was playing with it back and forth, and then I just watched the end, and I was like, oh, God. It's only the first game. They play Denver at home next this week coming up. So
yeah, that may be a long game for Eli and that defense.
Could be a long secondary game for everybody next week.
I don't expect Peyton to throw 7 against the Giants, but it's going to be 3 or 4.
Well, I expect that to. I don't know. I expect that to be a defensive kind of game. Giants defense needs to step up a little bit more. Their offense will get going. No more freaking fumbling the damn ball. Hold on to the freaking thing, will you? And everything else.
We're going to see if Coughlin has enough trust for Wilson to redeem himself.
Right.
Maybe that could be a redemption game for him.
Everything else can get fixed. Now, in our fantasy league we got going on here, guys, right?